Hi, I'm Jill Biggs with the Jill Biggs Group. Today we're going to answer the question every high-end homeowner in Hoboken is secretly asking. Is it a good time to sell my luxury home in 2026, or am I going to end up regretting it? If you've been stalking Hoboken listings, checking what other houses are for sale, Googling at 11 p.m., this is probably for you. I'm going to walk you through this the way I would walk my own sellers through it. We're going to talk about what is really going on in the Hoboken luxury market right now. Where are the serious buyers? Where are they coming from? What actually drives your home's value at the luxury level? And how should I decide if I should sell now or if I should wait? I'll give you a few real-life examples of what smart timing looks like and what bad timing looks like. Real life. No hype, no fear-mongering, just straight talk from a realtor, like from a person who actually sells luxury homes in Hoboken. So what do sellers really mean by, is it a good time? When people say, is it a good time to sell, what they're usually asking is, can I still get a great price for my home? Are there buyers still out there? The answer in Hoboken for luxury seller is yes. If you approach it correctly, the luxury segment, it's its own animal. You know, you're not playing the same game as the entry-level condo market. You're dealing with fewer buyers, but they're more qualified, more serious, more particular. They have a little bit less urgency. Let me give you an example. So we recently listed a high-end condo, great light, outdoor space, parking, definitely not cheap. Buyers came through. They already knew the building. They knew the recent sales. They knew exactly what they wanted. They were not there to waste time. They took a look. They wanted to decide, is this worth writing a serious offer on? What I'm seeing on the ground with our listing is location matters. Well-presented luxury homes, they're still getting strong activity. Buyers are doing more homework, they're taking a little more time, but they're absolutely writing offers on the properties that check their boxes. The best homes, the ones that are priced correctly, the ones that are staged, marketed professionally, they sell quickly. It's as crazy as the low interest states because there's low inventory still. So you might not have 27 offers in 24 hours on a listing, but you have a serious buyer pool. You have a sane market where smart sellers do extremely well. Takes maybe an extra week before you actually have a deal in play, but it's absolutely happening, and there's still a great market going on in Hoboken. So let's talk about who's buying in Hoboken at the luxury level right now. Because if you understand your buyer, you can understand whether now makes sense for you. So you basically have three groups shopping in the high-end space. First, you have the people from Manhattan. They're sick of tiny spaces. Maybe they don't have to work every day. You know, they don't want to deal with the intense co-op boards. They're realizing that they can get a little bit more space, a little bit more light, a little bit more peace, maybe some outdoor space, certainly a better view. These are the buyers that are searching Hoboken condos, Hoboken houses for sale, realtor in Hoboken, and they show up, right? First, they get to know the neighborhood, but then if they see the property that, you know, checks off their bells and whistles, they're ready to write an offer. They're ready to upgrade from their current life. A classic Manhattan to Hoboken buyer will say things like, I really want a real living room. Oh my God, there's a coat closet. I don't have to send my laundry out. I want to be able to have friends over without folding the bed up into the wall. And if I can see the skyline without dealing with my co-op board, I'm in, right? Second, you always have relocation buyers. We live in an area where whether you're buying or you're selling, people are moving about every 3.5 to 5 years, depending on what it is that you do, your age, your life, you're moving. So they don't have time and energy for a big project. Very few people want to do a project. They want turnkey, and they are willing to pay for it. They look at listings online. They look at reviews of real estate agents in Hoboken. They're doing their homework. They want someone to guide them and advise them to the right home. These are the people that are flying in for the weekend. Their company might be flying in. They're seeing 6 or 7 carefully curated homes, right, to make a decision. Those people, when they come for a tour, right, they see something they want, and they have a timeline that is quick, and they're moving. Third, and crazy as this will sound, probably our biggest pool is our move-up buyers. People come to Hoboken, and they don't want to leave. Like, nobody wants to go and transplant their family. You have everything. You go outside, you can get your coffee, you got school options, and if this school doesn't work, you can do this school. Your kids have music lessons, they're well-rounded. If you don't have any kids, we got a lot of dog parks. You have access to the city, there's culture, there's music, there's art, right? This is what it's like to live in the city. Certainly, we have a lovely lifestyle, and I am poster child to this. I love it here, and I have been here for 30 years and never left. So Hoboken has it all, and the high-end market is moving. So that move-up buyer, right, that we've sold, their first entry-level home, and then they meet somebody, or they were a couple, or they decide to have a kid, they need more space, they move up in their job, right? They get a little bit older, they start climbing up the ladder, they have a little bit more money, and they work their way up, and ultimately, they end up in either a huge condo or a brownstone, and they end up never leaving. So all 3 of these groups have one thing in common. They want quality, and they want convenience, and they are willing to pay for it. Turnkey or close to it, smart layout, not chopped up, not weird spaces, good natural light, outdoor space if possible. Parking is always a plus, and a lifestyle, not just 4 walls. If you own a home like that, you're exactly what this market is hungry for. Let's talk about timing. Market versus your life. Now, timing, everyone loves to obsess about timing. Jill, should I sell now? Should I wait 6 months? Should I wait until next spring? Here's my honest answer, and remember, I don't have a crystal ball, right? There's no magic perfect day to sell. There's such a thing as good positioning. There are 3 layers, right, to timing your sale. Number 1, seasonal timing. Interestingly enough, right, when I go on an appointment and it's winter and everybody's like, I'll wait for spring. And the truth is, you're gonna wait so that a lot more can come on the market, so that there's less buyers or that they have more choices. Like, what the right time to sell is? The right time to sell is, are you ready to sell? Like, always doing the right thing and making a house look the best that it can before you let people in. But if there's nothing on the market to buy, everybody gets excited, even when there's 3 feet of snow. So, good listings sell in January. Good listings sell in August, right? You come up from the beach. Good listings sell in November. As a matter of fact, we sold something on Thanksgiving, crazy as that is. Remember, what's most important is, what's the competition look like? It's important also to know that it was quiet in the fall a little bit, right? You could feel it. All of a sudden, interest rates have dropped. People are out. We're also very impacted by bonus season. It was a good bonus season for many. And, a little interest rate, a little bit of, excitement, especially since there's, we're so close to Wall Street here, and people are out there, right? And they're excited and they're buying. So we're not in the rock bottom rate, right? We're not getting 3%. But we are also not in a horrible doomsday scenario, right? Buyers in the luxury range are often less sensitive to a small rate change, right? They're more focused than rate on, is this the right home that I'm gonna stay in? Is this the location? Am I getting a good value? What matters most is, right, are buyers confident enough to make decisions? Are they feeling that real estate in Hoboken is a good long-term move? I'm here to tell you, right, it's always a good time to buy. We're super insulated. We're so close to the city. And if you're gonna buy something special, when that special thing comes and it appeals to you, you don't want to miss it. And that's how the luxury market moves. Also, you have people's personal timing. You're asking yourself, do I want to be living in this home in two or 3 years? Is this property helping me live the way that I want? Or am I staying out of habit? So the thing is, you got to consider what's important to you. And what's important to everybody is a personal decision, right? We know, right? Some people will not live in a home that doesn't have parking. But I'm here to tell you that some of the most high-end spaces that exist are brownstones. They don't have parking. Those people in those high-end $7 million brownstones, they walk a block and they put their car in the municipal garage, right? But for some people, they don't want to do that, right? And they live in a huge, fabulous condo, right? With parking there. So everybody has their list of absolute must-haves. And it's different for everyone. Does this home tick off your boxes? And at that point, you decide, this is my home. Let us get into value, because honestly, that's the heart of this. How much is my home worth? Can I get the number that I want? So your luxury home's value in Hoboken is based on way more than square footage, right? We're in a town with square foot pricing of $600 to $1,400, right? 1 square mile, some of it's on the same block, right? Depends on the builder, depends on the level of construction. Is it concrete and steel? Has it been newly renovated? What features? Is there a view? Do you have the backyard? Do you have the roof deck? It depends, right? And it depends on who you are and where you want to live. Because as a person who's lived in probably every area of Hoboken, I can tell you, they all have their appeals. So the exact block affects, right, what a buyer is willing to pay. Scarcity matters, right? If there are not many homes like yours, that helps. If there's a lot of similar condos in one building, right, then you need a different strategy on presenting and on pricing. So condition and design. You don't have to be, right, the cover of a design magazine, but if you're a luxury buyer, you're looking and you're expecting that it's clean, it's modern, it's cohesive, right? If your home has a bunch of mismatched updates and it looks like you got everything on sale at Home Depot, right? That probably is dropping your perceived value down. Buyers mentally start adding up how much they'll have to spend to fix things that bother them, right? Roof deck, the balcony, the yard, the terrace, even a small slice of outdoor space is a big deal here. Parking, especially deeded or on-site, is massive. Plenty of buyers will pay more just to avoid hunting for a spot or having to go to the municipal garage. So when we see two very similar condos, one has a private terrace and parking and one doesn't, the difference is not just emotional, it shows up in the sale price. Presentation and marketing, that's where a lot of luxury sellers lose money. If you want luxury results, your home has to look like a luxury listing everywhere it appeals. That means professional staging or at least like thoughtful styling, right? High-end photography, great videos. Somebody has to have read your listing description and not just run it through AI. If it says you're a full-service amenity building, you shouldn't be a 5th floor walk-up, right? You need to use a realtor who actually has a presence and has buyers, right? Because driving traffic is important through those listings in order for you to get the most money possible. And the online what's my home worth tools don't know that you have high ceilings. They don't know you got a private terrace. They don't know about your custom closets. They don't know that you use the most bougie luxury developer in town. They're just taking an average. So you can't go on that average. You need to have me or somebody like me come and sit in your house, walk around, and look at the difference in your paneling, in your lighting, in your low profile, quarter-inch reveal in your molding, the things that matter, the construction, the solid feeling of your stairs, all of that has an impact. And especially in that high-end space, you can feel it. You can walk in and look at someone's sheetrock and you can know who did this renovation. Is now a good time to sell a luxury home in 2026 in Hoboken? Here's my honest answer. If you have a fabulous property in a good location and you're willing to let us come and prep it properly, you hire a group that has the buyer pool and understands luxury listings, then of course, it's a great time to sell. You're benefiting from low competition at the top end, serious buyers who still are showing up, and a market that rewards homes that show well and feel move-in ready. If on the other hand, you love your home and you do not really want to move, or you're not prepared to do even the minimal amount of prep and staging, then it might be better to have a planning conversation and think in terms of the next 6 to 8 months rather than right this second. But please do not just sit in analysis paralysis, like scrolling through listings. You got to get out there. You got to visit some houses. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. Here's what I suggest. If you're a luxury homeowner in Hoboken and you're even thinking about selling in the next year or two, let us start with some clarity. Reach out. We will come by. We'll look at the recent luxury listings and sales that compare to yours. After we come by and we take a look at your home, we're going to pull up what is the reality, the real range of what your home is likely to get in this market. And we're going to give you a plan. What would it take to get ready to show up as one of the best houses, not just another list? And what are the options of the next steps? This is no pressure, right? Gather the information, and if that sounds helpful, use this link with this video. Get in touch with the Jill Biggs group. Ask for a personalized home valuation, and that doesn't mean that we're going to send you something without having seen the house, right? Because then we're taking an average and we have no idea. It's important we come by and then we put together a real plan. You have real data, and then you can make like a real decision based on fact, right? And what's happening rather than guesswork. So if you like this kind of straight talk, not fluffy, not doom and gloom, hit subscribe, give us a like, tell me in the comments, are you on team sell soon or are you on team sit tight for now? I'm Jill Biggs, your Hoboken realtor and your neighbor, and I will see you in the next video.